So let's get straight into the use of the where clause. We've worked sufficiently in the previous slides with conditions. Now let's bring it all together. As I indicated previously, the where clause is used to restrict our data. We restrict it. From my previous video, we focused on this part where we said select column 1, column 2, depending however many columns you want from your table name, and that was compulsory. And that would return all the records. It would return all the records. But if you introduce the where, you are now restricting. You are restricting the number of records that are going to be returned, and your restriction is then based on the condition that you apply in the where clause. Let's look at some examples. All the examples that we are working with is going to be based on this table, TBL actors. And TBL actors has the fields actor ID, the actor name, actor surname, DOB, date of birth, the age, the cell number. Again, remember that cell number has a space between the two words, unlike any of the other fields, is local and annual income. And these are the different data types. And we had 4 records in our table. So when I perform a particular query, the results that will be returned is going to be based on this table with these fields and these records that are in the table. So in the first example, I would like to display all the actor details. Display all the actor details. For actors that have an age above 20. So if we simply said display all the actor details, that would be very easy. We would say select star from TBL actors. This was explained in my previous video using the select from. But I don't just want all the actor details. I want only those actors that have an age above 20. So you can distinctly see a condition, a restriction coming into this particular example. So we will have our select statement that will be select star from TBL actors. And now we will introduce our where. And you then state the condition based on the field and what the restriction is about. Here we're looking at age above 20. We know that we had a field called age. So it's going to be where age above 20 means greater than 20. So that is the type of SQL statement that you would write. And if you run the particular SQL statement, this is what it would return. If you recall, we had 4 records in total, but because of the restriction, it's now giving us ages that are above 20, and there are only 2 records that have an age above 20. In the second example, display all the actor details for actors that have annual earnings above 75,000. Again, that is our restriction. We want the annual earnings above 75,000. So the where clause is now going to depend on annual earnings greater than 75,000. Very similar to the previous example. We would now say select star from TBL actors. Don't get confused here. I've written it on one line, and in the previous example, I've split it over multiple lines. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is we understand what the SQL statement is going to give us. So select star from TBL actors. That's going to give me all the records with the restriction now where the annual earnings, this is my field. Annual earnings, refer to my previous slide to understand all the field names in the table. So you've got annual earnings greater than 75,000. And what will be displayed in this case, again, of the 4 records, it's only 2 records displayed. This time it is Winnie and Tigger. And if you look at the annual earnings, you will see it is above 75,000. Let's look at more examples. In this one, display all the actor details for actors that have a surname, Pooh. So we are looking at the actor surname that is Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. So how would we write this particular example? In this one, select star from TBL actors. So there's no change to that particular line. What's our restriction? Here, the restriction is on the surname. So the field there is actor surname. And what value are we looking for? If the value equals Pooh. So we look, that will now generate Winnie the Pooh. And take note, we're using double quotes. It's double quotes for the reasons that I specified earlier. Although if you had to use single quotes and run the SQL in Microsoft Access, it will also work. But using the SQL in Delphi requires us to use double quotes. And I'm not displaying the result, but it will return just a single record with the details for Winnie the Pooh. In the next example, display all the actor details that were born after the year 1999. So immediately the field that we are querying is the date of birth. So we want the actor details that were born, who were born after 1999. So if you were born after 1999, it means it starts on the 1st of January 2000. So we want all the actor dates from the 1st of January 2000 onwards. So our SQL statement, select star from TBL actors, where we're querying the date of birth, that's my field, is greater than equal to, remember, I indicated when you are working with dates, you enclose it with a hash at the beginning and the end. And the format that I'm using, you could use a different format that could change, but in this format, it's the year, the month, and the day. And this is the 1st of January 2000. So this will return all the actor details who are born after 1999. Notice it's inclusive, which means from the 1st of January 2000, display the date of birth. And in that example, we get 2 records returned, Winnie and Piglet. And if we look at the date of birth, you will see both of them are born after 2000. In the next example, display all the actor details for actors that are local. You will recall there's a field called isLocal that was of type Boolean. So it becomes fairly straightforward where we say select star from TBL actors where there's the field isLocal. Because it's Boolean, I check to see that it's true because all local actors had a value of true and the foreigners were not ticked, so those would have had a value of false. In the next example, display all the actor details for actors whose name starts with the letter S. So the names start with the letter S. So immediately you should realize this is not an exact value. This is a pattern. that we are looking for. It starts with the letter it starts with the letter T, and any other character can follow. So you expect the like operator to come in. The answer to this would be select star from TBL actors, where we want the name to start with T. So it's based on the actor name, and the actor name is like. So we're looking for a pattern, and the pattern we're looking for is T it starts with, and anything else to follow. It starts with the letter T. And if we run that particular one, it would give us Tigger, because the actor name is the only actor starting with T. And if you recall from my previous note as well, if you are running this particular SQL statement in Microsoft Access, make sure you use the star and not the percentage sign. The assumption here is that these SQLs are going to be running in Delphi. In the next example, I'm looking at the names that end with the letter E. Give me all the actor names that end with the letter E. And you can pretty much work that out. You want a percentage followed by the E. And there it is. Select star from TBL actors, where actor name like, right, like, and percentage E means anything before but must end with an E. And when you're using the like, it's the operator that is like, and we don't use an equal to with the like operator. And when you're using a like operator, you expect it to use either the percentage wildcard or the underscore wildcard. And for this particular case, actor names ending with E, we've got two of them, Winnie and E-O, both actor names end with an E. More examples: display all actor details for actors whose name contains a T. So we are not interested in whether it starts with a T, ends with a T, but it could be even in between, but it must contain a T. And the pattern that we are looking for is having a T, anything before, anything after. It will have a T in it. And in this case, we've got a T in Tigger and we've got a T in Piglet. So there are two records that will be returned in this case. Display the actor details for actors who is on the 083 MTN network. Okay, so that works on the cell number. We've got a field called cell number. Remember, there was a space in that field name, cell number. And from my previous video, you know that when a field contains a space, you need to refer to it using square brackets. And there we are. Where cell number, there's the square brackets, like, and I want the pattern 083 with anything else that follows. In the next example, we're looking for actors who were born on the 16th of August, and we are not concerned about what year, but it's an exact day and month. So we're working with the date of birth. That's the field, date of birth, and sorry, that was the output for the previous one who was on the 083 network. In this particular example, look at how we use the date. We are saying where the date of birth is like, and this is where the percentage is, and the rest of it is fixed. The 08/16. And because we are treating it like a string, you will notice that I did not make use of the hash. I've not enclosed it between a hash because like works on a string and I'm treating it like a string. So that works. And If you run that, then you will find that we've got Tigger, who's born on the 16th of the 8th month, which is August, and the year was 1995. Another example, we're looking for somebody whose name has the letter I in it. It contains an I, whose name has an I in the second letter, sorry. The I is contained in the second letter. So we use the wildcard, which is the underscore. That's your first character. I must be in the second character, and anything else can follow. And in that case, you will see in the second character, we've got 3 actor names that start with the letter I: Winnie, Tigger, and Piglet all have the second character starting with the I. And just another reminder, if you are using this SQL statement in Microsoft Access, instead of using the underscore, you will make use of the question mark. And if you had to use the star, if you had to use the percentage rather in Delphi, in Microsoft Access, you will use the star. Now we're looking for a name that starts with the letter E and ends with the letter O in the 4th character, very specific. So there we are. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 2 underscores. It's starting firstly with an E, 2 underscores, and then you can see the O is in the 4th character, and anything else can follow. And you can guess what that answer is, E or, that has that particular combination for the actor name.